Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, with the whole South Park sort of attack on Disney and stuff like that, I sort of watched a few of the reaction videos from the usual suspects like Clownfish and I think I was looking for Doomcock and Nerdrotic and stuff like that. And I sort of realized I hadn't watched any of their videos for a long time. Now, I used to watch these guys regularly, like a few years ago when I first started like looking at YouTube and looking at all the genre podcasts and geek culture stuff and all those sort of channels. I used to watch them fairly regularly, and I sort of you become used to your regular ones, and I sort of liked their personalities, their characters. Like they had some character, they were interesting. But very quickly they became political, and not long after a certain president was elected in 2016 or 17, I don't know, I can't remember what it was now. I sort of blocked it all out of my mind now. They started to get really political, and at first you would notice it just slipping into the comments, or they clearly seem to have an agenda and a bias and that, and it's kind of annoying. And sometimes you could just listen to a video about a story and just listen to the actual facts and what they're reporting on, and then just sort of forget the spin. But I started to notice that the format of these videos started to become very consistent, where they'd spend about a minute out of like 20 or 2 minutes talking about the story and then go into their rant, and it would be the same thing over and over again. And the whole point of that is to try and condition people and indoctrinate people, where you're telling them the same story over and over again and they just start to believe it and don't question it. And it just got really tedious, because like after about a minute or so of talking about something that might have happened, because often there'll be a headline which sounds like something big's happened, and it's really just a small thing that's happened, and they say, oh, today so-and-so did this, and they did it because this, and then they go into the rant about, the political stuff, and it's because they're feeding their base, because there's people who are addicted to that, and they want to specifically hear that. They've done their research, they know what they want to hear, and they just keep regurgitating it and keep restating it over and over again. And especially Nerdrotic, and not Nerdrotic does it, in my opinion, and I have to say in my opinion with everything, because I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but Doomcock does it in my opinion, and pretty much all the Fandom Menace people do it in my opinion. That Star Wars girl, Hill versus Babyface, they all do the same thing. They do it differently though, but they basically just pushing the same agenda, the same talking points, whether they've all sat down and compared notes or sent out emails, or whether they're just watching the same people and just having the same take, and they understand their audience and they know they're feeding a base. That's what feeds them. And at first it was sort of, they managed to do it with some character, and I disagreed with them, but because I enjoyed how what they were talking about, or how they were talking about the things I was interested in, I sort of could look past the personal issues and that. But then it started to become the main point of every video, was to push certain agendas and push certain opinions, and the story was just an excuse to get into that subject and make another video about it, basically going over the same stuff and giving the salivating right-wing base, conservative base, the same meal every time. It just became really lame and sad, and I just stopped watching them. I realized I stopped watching them, and I was kind of bored of YouTube, because like there's no one else to watch, because there's like other channels, but they're really boring. They don't have any character or personality. Like there's a group that's just about attacking the Fandom Menace people. I've forgotten their name. The Fandom Initiative, I think it is. They're so boring. They have no personality. There's nothing interesting. When I watch their podcast, even though I agree with everything they say and why they're talking about what they're talking about, and it's important, they're so bland and boring about delivering it. I get bored. I don't want to watch it. And that's one of the weird things. A lot of these right-wing people are very charismatic, and that's part of the way they suck people in. And like I'm conscious of it. I'm sitting back from it, but I kind of miss the personality. It's like aside from like Bailey Sarian and a few people like the Toy Guru and who else? There's not a lot of people I watch regularly on YouTube anymore, because most of the channels that were into the things I was interested in have been taken over by right-wing extremists, and all they do is push that agenda in every video. So there's just not much left, and I've sort of been looking at a lot of toy collecting ones like Mega J Retro and some of those guys, but I think some of them might have agendas as well. I think I've spotted them on other channels talking, but when they do their own videos, they keep it neutral. So like the Sci-Trek guy, I hear he's got a lot of right-wing political stuff, but I've never heard him say anything that sounded political in any of his videos, so I'm not going to judge him for what he might think in his own life if he's not trying to bring it into everything he talks about, like some people where they're just trying to just constantly brainwash and indoctrinate people. So yeah, I just was aware of the fact that I was just about to watch a Nerdrotic video. I'm like, when was the last time I watched a Nerdrotic video? And this was actually a response to the South Park things. I'm like, you know what? They've been going on about this thing for years, and you know, someone's actually agreeing with them. And I'm like, I'm gonna listen to their little videos, sort of, you know, celebrating this little moment, you know, because I sort of like, you know, they've wanted this for ages. I want to see how they report this and how they respond to this, and that's sort of interesting. But I doubt I'll be watching anything else from them anytime soon. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.